Have you ever noticed how no character in Peppa Pig ever ages? As simple as this cartoon may seem, the mystery of the passage of time is the most interesting of all. Everyone has already noticed this, but pretended they didn't. Peppa, George, and the whole gang should already be way older. Like, adults paying bills. The show has existed for more than 20 years. 20 years! In that time, Peppa has lived 1,000 adventures, visited half the planet, and she's still the same age. If this were real life, she'd already be complaining about back pain. It's as if time passes for everyone, except for them. And you can't even use the excuse of, oh, the show's time works differently. Within Peppa's own universe, we've already had Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, several times. Events that, interestingly enough, only happen once a year. That means that between one special and another, birthdays should exist. Candles should be blown out. But that simply doesn't happen. No one ages, ever. And the more you think about it, the stranger it gets. This isn't carelessness. It's not lazy writing. It's the biggest mystery of Peppa Pig. So get comfortable on the couch, grab some popcorn, because from here on, we're going to explain why no one ages in this show, and you may never be able to watch it the same way again. Another zigzag is starting. The more you observe the Peppa Pig universe, the clearer it becomes that time there is broken. And not in a subtle way. It's straight up wrong. The strangest part is that it wasn't always like this. The episodes themselves show it. In flashbacks, we see Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig when they were children, living normally, growing up like anyone else. We've also seen Grandpa Pig and Granny Pig when they were young, in a time when he dressed like a biker and rode a motorcycle. The look, the clothes, the attitude, everything points to something very close to the 1980s. In other words, time passed. And it passed properly. There's another detail that many people ignore. Baby Evie received that name in honor of Great Aunt Evie, a relative who has already died. And let's be honest, she didn't die young, something that, curiously, no longer happens in the present of the series. So yes, there was a time when people aged and died. But that stopped. And everything indicates that this change happened after the birth of Peppa and George, which makes everything even more unsettling, because it shows that frozen time is not natural to that world. It's something that was altered. In other words, someone messed with it. And when we start looking for who seems completely immune to the passage of time, one name immediately comes up: Madame Gazelle. Everyone has already noticed that no one ages in the show, but with her, things are even stranger. Even before time broke, when Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig were still children, Madame Gazelle already existed and was already a teacher. And an important detail, she looked exactly the same as she does today. Same posture, same voice, same face, decades later. We'll tell you later a theory about how the Peppa world is fake, but what if Madame Gazelle not only knows that this world is fake, but is also responsible for keeping it running, like an administrator, someone who makes corrections, adjusts rules, and makes sure the system doesn't get out of control? That doesn't make her a villain. In fact, it could mean that she's essential for that world to keep existing. If someone controls time, the rules, and the behavior of the universe, someone needs to obey. And when you start paying attention to who works non-stop, an obvious pattern appears. Because maybe the rabbits in Peppa Pig aren't just workers, but Madame Gazelle's minions. Are you liking this theory? Then tell us with the hashtag Gazelle in the comments. Ever since forever, Mrs. Rabbit does everything. Driver, cashier, attendant, pilot, public employee, private employee, emergency worker, at the same time, in different places. Something that, let's be honest, only works in two scenarios: cloning or a video game. It's like opening the map and seeing the same character repeated at every single point. This kind of logic is common in games. In Minecraft, villagers all look the same, they just change professions. In Pokemon, Nurse Joy appears in every Pokemon Center, and that's it, everyone accepted it. In Peppa Pig, the same thing happens. Mrs. Rabbit shows up whenever someone needs a service. All it takes is one phone call. And everyone is so used to it that they don't even question it. But for us, watching from the outside, honestly, it's kind of weird, don't you think? That makes her the perfect candidate to be an NPC, a character created solely to perform tasks that no one else does. And maybe one of the few who truly knows how that world works. Because think about it, if there are administrators, there are NPCs. And if there are NPCs working non-stop, then maybe Peppa Pig isn't just a cartoon. Maybe it's an entire simulation running right in front of our eyes. Dates that repeat, characters that don't age, adults who grew up, and then suddenly froze in time. None of this seems random when you put the pieces together. These strange details all point in the same direction. Peppa is a cartoon full of animation errors, but this doesn't seem like carelessness. It feels like a pattern, and patterns usually have an explanation, like a game running on a loop, with levels that never truly move forward. The theory is simple and terrifying. The world of Peppa Pig would be a simulation, a virtual universe made of rules, code, and constant adjustments. Something similar to the Digiworld from Digimon, or, for the more classic crowd, The Matrix. Everything suggests that this world was created by someone from the outside, maybe even based on our own society. Over time, the programmers decided to mess with how the clock works, freeze ages, and that kind of thing. But they kept updating the environment to keep up with the real world. New cell phones, more modern trains, everything updated. The result of that? An unstable system. And when a system becomes unstable, something needs to be sacrificed. In this case, it wasn't time, it was memories. Because if you pay close attention, many events simply disappear from the characters' minds, as if they had never happened. In real life, we do forget silly things, but important moments, important people, that almost never disappears from someone's mind. In Peppa Pig, it does. Peppa has already forgotten things that no one would ever forget. A heavy example is Aunt Dottie. She never appeared in person, but she sent a letter and a gift in the episode Horsey Twinkletoes. But in the Thanksgiving episode, when Mummy Pig mentions Aunt Dottie, Peppa asks who she is, as if she had never heard that name before. And the worst detail? No one finds this strange. No one says, "Wait, you already know her, remember that gift?" It's as if everyone had completely forgotten that that episode ever existed. If nothing ever ends, maybe nothing truly matters. And when life has no end, even the most important memories start to fade away. Thinking like that turns Peppa's world into something really sad. But wait, because the next piece of evidence isn't just strange, it's heartbreaking. Babies are yet another piece of evidence that Peppa Pig's timeline makes absolutely no sense. In a world where children never grow up, the logical thing would be for babies to stop being born, but the exact opposite happens. Evie was born recently. Before her, Mummy Rabbit had already had the twins Rosie and Robbie. In other words, the system keeps generating new characters normally. And the strangest part is that the babies do grow, just up to a certain point. Alexander, Peppa's cousin, started out as a tiny baby and then grew a little. Everything indicates the same thing will happen with Evie. Now comes the detail that breaks everything. During the pregnancy, Mummy Pig explains that Evie will be born in 9 months. In other words, almost a full year passes between the announcement and the birth. And in that interval, nothing changes. Peppa and George stay exactly the same age, same appearance, same routine. Time moves when it's convenient, and freezes when it can't move forward. If you're putting these pieces together with us, you've already realized this is not a coincidence. And the next piece of evidence will make everything even clearer. So subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell so you don't miss it, because this theory only gets stranger from here. There's one more detail that gives away that this world doesn't work the way it should, and it's right in front of us. Technology. While no one ages, devices age very quickly. At the beginning of the series, the Pig family watched TV on a tube television. Today, the TV is flat screen, modern, just like ours. The computer has changed too, and recent episodes show technologies that simply didn't exist in 2004 when the show began. It's as if we're watching a programmer take items from a database and drag them onto the screen, just to update the objects and the surrounding environment, while the characters remain identical. This proves one important thing. Time does pass in that world. Society evolves, objects change, references keep up with the real world, only people don't. It's similar to The Simpsons, who go through decades without anyone aging. The difference is that The Simpsons embrace the absurd. Peppa Pig pretends this is completely normal, but it isn't. Everything there works like a distorted mirror of our reality, updated on the outside and frozen on the inside. So here's the question that won't go away. If the world changes, technology advances, and time clearly passes, why do only people remain exactly the same?